Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whale Nerds podcast. This is episode number 47, and I nailed that on the head. As I was saying that, I was literally looking at Eric and Caitlin, and I'm like, please be 47. All right. Well, yeah, this is episode 47. We're stoked to be back. I'm here with Eric and Caitlin.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
And we have some news.
Do we want to do sightings first or news first?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do sightings first because the news sounds exciting.
Yeah, and I heard something sad. So, maybe we should save the sightings.
Wait, are the sightings? Wait, the sightings
Sightings
are not
aren't sad, but
it's wintertime. It's wintertime, so sightings are kind of.
I had a good week.
Oh wait, yeah, you're in Maui now. I forgot.
The sightings are great, but I said I saw something that was sad online about about elephant seals.
You did?
Oh yeah, we talked about this
let's do
yesterday.
the sightings.
Okay, Eric, you go first.
Sightings. Well, California, wintertime, gray whales.
You went down south too, though, right?
Oh yeah. I enjoyed seeing my common dolphin and white-sideds and Rizzos, but yeah, that day out there, I didn't run into gray whales. I was actually there for a rehabbed bird release, but as far as being back on the water here in Monterey, it's been great the last few days. The gray whales have been showing up consistently in very good numbers. Yesterday I had about 25 of them come down the coast. Today probably about 15, and they're coming down. It was neat. Not many singles. It was like, twos, even like fours and stuff like that. So yeah, things are good.
You guys are coming up on the peak of the southbound migration in the next few weeks for Monterey.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I forgot, your buddy Casper made an appearance today.
Oh, today? I feel like every other week there's a sighting right now.
Yeah, he's been sticking around.
Yeah. Is there a lot of squid or something?
You know what? I haven't noticed much squid outdoor or even activity with the commercial boats. It seems like they're still wrapping up anchovies, not squid. But he's been hanging around. And for those who've seen him year after year, for us Monterey fleet people, it seems like he's getting bigger.
Yeah, he does look bigger in the photos.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's about it over here. I'm trying to think of anything else significant. The northern part of the bay, they've been kind of staying, around Moss or a little bit north, and there's been a few of those little humpbacks still hanging around. But other than that, yeah, gray whale season is looking good. I'm still kind of waiting to see what happens, especially with the the die-off last season. But we'll see.
Yeah, the northbound will be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went whale watching on Saturday or Sunday, and we had like 3 or 4 humpbacks. We originally had one humpback like in Soquel Canyon, like at the tip of Soquel,
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw a couple other blows, and it was for 1 second I was like, oh my gosh, because we had 3 humpbacks literally all in a circle of each other, like all within a couple hundred feet of each other. And I was like, oh, yeah, they're going to get feeding or doing something fun. And then they literally just all went opposite directions, all 3. So that was exciting.
They were like, maybe we can hang out. No.
Yeah, they're all juveniles. They're literally all like really, really small whales.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they all look like they were like 1 or 2 years old.
I think my favorite like non-scientific explanation of juvenile humpback whale behavior is from Captain Nick that works over at Chris's. He's like, these little whales, like, their mom left them, and, like, they're kind of socially awkward. Like, they don't really know what they're doing, so they're really unpredictable, and they, like, try and meet up with a bigger whale and feed with them sometimes, but then, like, they don't quite have it right, so then it seems like they kind of just give up. It's pretty funny to listen to him talk about these, like, teenager whales, but I think, honestly, he kind of hit the nail on the head when he and I were talking about it. It's like, they're just still trying to learn how to be a whale, and so they're just really weird.
Yeah. They are definitely being funky.
Yeah.
So have you been watching these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, tell us your Maui-ness.
Yeah. So these first 2 sightings, I can't remember which one happened when. It's been really windy. So we've kind of been in unusual snorkel spots. And one day we were snorkeling off of what's called the Poly, so the highway that connects like Ma'alaya over towards Lahaina, and that's like the only spot we could hide from the wind was like behind these sea cliffs, and like we're anchored up like really close, moored up really close to the shore. And I was lifeguarding from the boat and like helping people on and off, and all of a sudden one of the lifeguards on the surfboard was like, "Hey, there's a monk seal," and I was like, "What?" And it was right next to the boat. And so then I was like trying to get around the boat to see, but then these people needed help getting out. And as soon as I stepped down on the swim step and I could see between the pontoons, because our boat's a catamaran, the monk seal popped up in between the pontoons and just like laid there.
Dang.
So
So
then I
you're
was like,
like a
look, look, look.
you're like a monk seal expert now.
It was really cool. I guess that one's been hanging around there a lot. I've seen it from the road before. I just didn't know for sure if it was a monk seal, but we were like in the same spot as where we passed it on the highway. And I was like, oh my God, it is the same monk seal.
And
So
you
it has
guys can't
little tone.
be like around them, right? What'd you guys all do once they saw it?
We basically just like kept all the snorkelers away, and like it went between the pontoons of the boat. It like hung there for 2 minutes and then it like swam away, and we didn't really see it again. So we were like, okay. And then I guess later it popped up in the middle of all the snorkelers, and so one of our staff was like lifeguarding, was like paddling over, was like, get away from me.
That's awesome. So how many times have you
Wow.
seen one now?
That's the second sighting I've ever had. Well, I saw it from the road one day, but I didn't know for sure. So third sighting, I guess. So then another day, we finally could snorkel on the south shore of Maui because the visibility was finally good. There was no weird current and the swell had died down. We hadn't been able to snorkel there for like over a week, and that's our normal spot. So in the previous week, we had broke one of the moorings because it was kind of frayed and the diver didn't see it, and then the boat was really heavy, and so it just like snapped off luckily after everyone was back in the boat and they were about to leave anyway. So the next opportunity we had to get there, one of the other crew who's a really good free diver was going to get in with all these tools and like put a new shackle on and like put a new tagline on. And so I was like, do you want to go in by yourself? Like, you're going to try and hold all these tools and dive? And he was like, no. So I got in and just like held everything. I was like treading water, holding a crowbar. But
Crowbar.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Before we got to the spot, we saw spinner dolphins, and I was like, oh, cool. So I was telling people about the spinner dolphins, and then we like cruised up the coast, and like I kind of forgot about it, and we got in and we were like, he was like free diving, like trying to break the old piece off with the crowbar. So I was like passing him stuff, and he was like out of breath, and all of a sudden I hear people going, the dolphins, and I was like, what? And I looked around, the spinner dolphins swam right by us while we were working. So he was like getting low on breath, so I was like, stop, just catch your breath and look at the dolphins. And they like 20 of them swam by us like really slow. They kind of like circled around the boat and around us. And so we were just like looking, just put our heads under the water and we were looking at them, and they like dive all the way to the bottom and glide on the sand and then kept cruising. Some of the big adults would, and then the rest of them were at the surface.
Is there something to eat there, or what are they doing on the sand?
They're just resting and cruising. They're nocturnal, so they go offshore to like look for big schools of lanternfish and stuff at night. And then during the day, they kind of like come into these like calm areas along the coast and just sleep, kind of like Rizzo's. But
have you learned anything about lanternfish?
Not really. Why, you got fun facts?
They're one of the biggest biomasses out there. One of the biggest biomasses.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Got to see dolphins underwater. That was flipping
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Monk seals, dolphins underwater.
Yeah. And there's fin whales around. And I got to go to 2 of the other islands this last week, too.
Did you say fin whales?
No.
Dude, I thought I was looking at. Did you see my eyes? I was just staring. I'm like, did she say fin whales?
No, there has been whales.
Fin whales. Okay.
Yeah, bin whales.
What are bin whales?
They have seen fin whales here before, but it's like really rare.
No, but bin whales, like, is it BIN whales or like
BEN? Don't make fun of me.
what species? What genus is that? I'm not familiar with bin whales.
There have.
I
can't even come up with another way to say it right now. Anyways, so one of the programs that Pac Whale does is they subsidize a keiki whale watch program for all the kids on.
Can you tell the people what that means that don't speak Hawaiian?
Children. Keiki means child. So they subsidize whale watch for kids on Maui, and then for the other islands in Maui County that people live on, so Lanai and Molokai, they're free. So we took the boat over to Lanai last Friday, and we took out like 200 kids to go whale watching. So that was pretty cool that we got to cross over there. And it was a full moon. And so we were watching whales in the dark the whole way over there.
With kids?
No, like the crew was to drive the boat from Ma'alaya over to Lanai. And then there was a mom and calf humpback right outside the harbor, which was good because it was kind of choppy and the kids were getting seasick. So it was not very far away. We got to watch mom and calf all day and spinner dolphins on the last one.
Lucky.
And then...
And pin whales?
No.
Ooh.
And then we went
What
over
if we
to
got
Molokai
spinners?
yesterday. What's later?
I was gonna say, what if we got spinners here every once in a while?
It'd be
Too cold.
crazy.
Too cold.
Yeah, it'd be a bad thing.
Why is it bad?
Because they're not supposed to go in water that cold.
Okay, explain to me this. How do they look exactly like a common dolphin but wouldn't be able to handle the water?
They don't look like a common dolphin.
Yeah, they do.
I don't.
Their body type.
Their dorsal fin looks different. They're longer and skinnier.
Oh man, I'll freaking.
They're a lot thinner than common dolphins.
Yeah, they're like
now
long and.
put two photos together, and you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it looks just like
No,
common
you're
dolphin."
gonna put two photos together. Oh yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
They look like a long beak common dolphin.
They're just not like the food that they're specialized in eating is not high enough fat content, I think, for them to really be packed on for cold water.
True.
So, yeah.
But I do.
Because lanternfish are not nearly as oily as like sardines or anchovies or something.
They're really tiny too. They gotta eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess they look more like a bottlenose, huh?
Oh, there you go.
That's what I meant. Offshore bottlenose.
But they're small.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
they're like 150 pounds. Like common dolphins are like 200 to 300. But anyway, so then we also went to Molokai yesterday. So that was cool. It was a really rough crossing. Like really rough. Like bad day, bad afternoon, weather turned bad in Monterey except for like 2 hours just trying to get home.
Have you guys canceled any whale watches because of the wind, or what's the deal? Are you doing?
We've only had one day where we canceled, and it was like blowing over 50, and it was
Holy.
Yeah, and it was more because we were losing stuff off the boat, so like we were gonna end up like polluting the ocean all day. Rather than it being necessarily too rough. It was like the people were going to be soaking wet. It was going to be really hard to find whales, and we kept like losing people's stuff off the boat. It was so windy. So then we didn't go. But we've gone all the other days unless we didn't have enough people.
Hopefully the wind's not there when I get there.
I hope not, because I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
But Molokai was cool. We took out like 300 kids. There was not many whales, and it was really choppy. So we couldn't really look for whales anyway because it's too rough. But we did see turtles around the harbor. The crew kept saying they saw a monk seal, but I never saw it.
In the harbor?
Yeah, right by their harbor. What? And then we saw a lot of manta rays.
What?
Like on one trip, we had 8.
What?
Yeah, little ones. So that was
little ones?
Yeah.
Is it all manta there, or do they have mobula?
We have like one stingray species. I can't remember the name, but then we have spotted eagle rays and mantas, and that's it.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then the kids sang us a chant as a thank you, which was also pretty cute, like little kindergartners singing for us. I was like, oh, this is adorable.
Man, you're having all the fun. Yeah, we're just having winter here. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so yeah, we'll be off the water. Rain.
You're coming soon to see.
I can't wait for February and March.
Yeah. You have some fun stuff coming up, Slater. You can come to the
Slater.
I know, but I feel like I'm not doing anything right now, and I kind of want to cry.
Don't cry.
I could, you know.
I know you could. I don't doubt you for a second.
Dude, I'm just saying, like, I need some full-time whale watching going on in my life.
Pretty soon you're going to be seeing so many whales, you're not going to know what to do.
I went down to Garapata today, and I didn't see a single gray whale, and I totally thought I would.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So
also, I was playing with my dog, and she was like, I was throwing a stick for her, so I didn't look. I looked like on the path down to the water, and I didn't really look once I got down there. But
Oh.
still, I looked for a good 3 minutes before I walked down to the water, and I thought I would see one.
Yeah, it was so good today. Yeah, I was hoping you would see something over there.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
no.
is that it for sightings? Did you want to talk about the sad news we were talking about, Slater?
The elephant
Well,
seal thing.
well, yeah,
Yeah, it's
that
messed
happened in
up.
September, I guess.
What
There's
was
still
it?
reward out there for the
So
guy.
someone shot an elephant seal
What?
in like on the beach, I guess, near like San Simeon, like near one of those beaches down south.
Wow.
And there's a $20,000 reward for turning the person in. And I guess the guy will face a $25,000 fine,
Yeah.
or a guy or girl, I don't know who did it, but will face a $25,000 fine, up to a year in prison, and then some other stuff. Because it's a federal offense.
Yeah, it's the standard MMPA
Yeah.
violation.
How much were they going to be fined?
25,000.
25,000.
Wow. So the last person to get fined for MMPA violation in Central California, how much did they get fined?
I don't know. Not very much though, because I actually had a good lawyer. That's they read you the maximum, right? They read you like what you could face, but if you have a good lawyer, then that may not happen.
What about the second time they violated it? That was just what, probation extension or?
Yeah. And
So it's like if you have a good lawyer, you can be like, well, the elephant seal looked like it was going to kill me.
Oh, God.
I mean, that's how lawyers work in this country.
They were like, yeah, it was about to hop a fence, run across the street, and kill you.
It was glumping so fast. So fast.
Is that what it's called, glumping? I thought it was like undulating. Harbor seals undulate, huh?
Eric's making stuff up.
Glumping? Google it. Watch. A bunch of listeners are going to be like, Eric
I
is
know what
right.
you're talking about. What? They use it in a couple different movies that I like to watch.
Let me see, dude.
Probably thinking heffalump.
No.
Moving a clumsy, ponderous, and
See,
noisy manner.
it's real.
They are glumpers, dude. They're young.
I'm
In
science.
Alice in Wonderland, they use it.
There's a seal in Alice in Wonderland.
No, they use it to describe
glumping.
someone else, but they use that word.
I don't make up words.
It could have been glumping in
It's not
like.
made up. You're just being.
You used it right.
And it's spelled not how you think. Spell it, Caitlin. Don't even Google it.
Galumping?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does it start with G-U?
No, it's GALUMPHING.
That's too many letters.
It's a silent.
I can't.
Okay, so that was one sad one, and the other one was the one you mentioned, which I just read the article for, was the Sea Shepherd France. Or was that you, Eric, that mentioned it?
Eric mentioned that.
What the
So
heck?
what is it? Is it trying to make a statement about the
It's the
drive
fish.
kills, or what is it?
Bycatch.
And a fishing method that accidentally kills dolphins in the Bay of Biscay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you see them carry the two dolphins up in the video?
That's gnarly. How is that legal to just like carry around a dead dolphin? I mean, I guess it's Europe, but
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, people are making their point, but that's
Yeah, how do they
I
not
don't
just get pulled over for carrying the dolphin?
in my opinion, carrying around the animal's dead body is not very respectful, you know, and the way they did it. I mean, it's just.
I mean,
I
they
know
really
you're trying to
wanted
make
it.
points.
To show people, like,
They
thought,
wanted it to be inflammatory so people would start a conversation about it.
that's the one thing with some of those like organizations like PETA and stuff. They do things really like dramatically, I think, to try to get a point across, and sometimes it's a little gnarly.
Yeah, but if you're respecting life, you should also still respect the animal when it's dead. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I don't know if I would take dead dolphins to the Eiffel Tower to prove my point.
I mean, what's next? You know, you're gonna make your dead dogs, you know, dead humans. It's like, geez.
I mean, they have some pretty gnarly protest techniques there too, though, because like when they protest the bullfighting, they'll like have people like lay in the street like covered in fake blood for like hours and stuff. Have you ever seen those in Spain?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
But yeah, people, if you wanna, where did you find that, Caitlin? I just screenshot it.
I googled it.
I
literally
Googled it.
googled what you said, and then it was the first thing was like from like some news agency shared their video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
What kind of dolphin is it?
Those are
It
commons.
looks like commons.
Yeah.
Look like spinners to me. No kidding.
Oh god, here we go. Here we go. What any so now that we talked about all the sad whale news, Caitlin, were you nerding out with me reading any Marmam stuff that you found interesting?
I didn't look on Marmam, but I did read up on that tracking whales from space
The satellite?
satellite stuff.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the New England Aquarium and a couple other agencies are working together using European satellites, radar, and sonar information to try and have a real-time estimate of where whales are. And they're really trying to use it for North Atlantic right whales, but ideally they would like to be able to create like heat maps or frequency maps all the time for where the whales are to help protect them. And so they're going to use like a whole bunch of different information, and they're still very much in the like trying to figure it out stages.
You said protect them as in from like ship strike or?
Yeah, and fishing gear and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that's going to be information that's only reported to like management or if it's going to be like publicly available information.
Yeah, there's always been discussion about making that stuff like real time. It's kind of sketchy in some hands, yet helpful for others.
Yeah,
What,
exactly.
seeing from space real time?
Yeah, or just having like constant real time information about where all the whales are. But I mean, I think we'll see if they can pull it off. That's the other thing. So it's Draper is the data analytics company, and New England Aquarium, and then whoever's cooperating with the satellites, they didn't say, but they also are motivated to do it because they're currently flying a lot of aerial surveys for right whales, and those are subject to weather, but also like dangerous for people. Like the more times you put a person in an aircraft, the odds of something happening are,
Why aren't they using drones?
I mean, I don't know. They've surveyed pretty far offshore.
Oh.
So I don't know how practical it is.
I know a guy who flies drones.
Yeah, we do know a
just
guy.
do it. Like, you just be a kayaker and just fly your drone. That'll save money and fuel.
Kayak like 60 miles offshore and then just fly your drone.
Dude, that guy in Monterey will do it.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
I've seen him like 11 miles out before. It's pretty nice.
Me too, with killer whales and blue whales.
So that one was pretty interesting. I hope that they like gain some traction with it because I think that'd be a pretty sweet application of technology.
Uh-huh.
And then the other thing that I read was the frequency of gray whales stranding and relating it to radio waves emitted that come through the Earth's atmosphere during a solar storm.
Oh, yeah.
So like when there's sunspots really bad, like bad solar flares, not all the radiation breaks through the Earth's atmosphere, but in the radio frequency it does. And what did it say? Strandings are 4.8-fold. There was a 4.8-fold increase in the likelihood that a whale would strand on days where the high RF noise was detected. So
interesting. This is like almost someone you have to be also a astronomer to kind of understand this particular subject.
Yeah,
it's pretty
I'm
neat.
all about intersectional science. We should all be working together more than we do.
You just look at what you just did to Slater. His eyes just crossed. He used a big word.
Citizen science and
community
all sorts
science.
Of science.
I think all
science.
different fields of science should be working together more than they do. Like, get out of your
let's hide our
out
information
and work
from
together.
each other.
So, Caitlin, the paper you're talking about with the gray whales and the whole sun, thing, causing them to, maybe, lose their sense of direction. There was a paper about a year ago that was similar, except it was about sperm whale strandings in relation to, activities of our sun. So, yeah, solar storms and stuff like that.
Yeah,
could be...
the interesting thing is no one has been able to prove whether, like, there's anything in the animal's body or brain that detects it. Like, is it biomagnetite? What is it?
Yeah, there's always been talk about that. Even like in from an anthropology standpoint, we've always said animals have a sense of direction. There's people like in the South Pacific, I forgot which particular group, but they don't have the GPSs and cell phones and Google Maps like we do, and there's people out there with a sense of direction that's amazing. They literally like it almost sounds like they're messing with them, but it's the only way to determine how accurate their sense of direction was. They would literally take these people, blindfold them, and spin them around, and tell them point north, point west, and then they would do it.
Hmm.
I gotta find out what the name of this group. But these people, instead of saying right or left, they would say east, west. It was I forgot. It's some group in the South Pacific. So I think if you don't use it a lot, you lose it,
Yeah.
and our animals are still using it.
Well,
So
go ahead, Slater.
if it's affecting these gray whales, right, and they're losing their sense of direction, is it mainly younger ones? Because if the older ones have done it like 15 times, are they still able to figure out where they need to go?
Yeah, they didn't say like the age class or how many strandings they reviewed. It just says that they compiled all gray whale stranding data from the U.S. West Coast between 1985 and 2018 and found that live and otherwise healthy gray whales were stranding far more often when there was a high number of sunspots.
Interesting.
Sunspots on them?
No, like just meaning that radiation was entering Earth's atmosphere. You can see these spots on like these flares on the sun, and then
Oh,
you can
okay.
detect what's coming into the Earth's atmosphere.
Okay, I thought they were noticing these sunspots on the gray whale. I'm like, how are you
No, no,
noticing
they're
sunspots on a gray
sunburned.
whale?
Although
No,
whales can get sunburned, but
Yes,
it's
no.
they
not.
can.
Yeah, it's not the sunspots you see like on us ocean people.
I think
Yeah.
like bottlenose dolphin, like the coastal bottlenose, are sunburned.
I mean, sometimes you can see it on, I guess, in the breeding grounds, you can see it on the moms if they're spending a lot of time at the surface. Um, they get sunburned on their back from like resting with their calf.
Some people think even Casper was sunburned about a month ago.
I feel like that might have been a squid injury, but I don't know.
Any other
Alrighty.
any other papers you found interesting, Caitlin Taylor?
Um, those were the two like article type things I read. I reread Nick Pyensen's blog for Washington Post, and I posted it on our Patreon. So if you're a Patreon follower, you can get the link for
The
that.
Blue Whale one?
He just wrote like the whole 2019, like we learned a lot about whales, and blue whales
Oh,
was
okay.
one of the center topics, like
The
the
size.
the size, the heartbeat information we just got at the end of the year, and then also at the beginning of the year, I forgot. Um, they had determined somehow that blue whales navigate by memory to feeding grounds. So that's another interesting thing is like, is it, are they detecting things in the earth? Is it memory based for migration? Like there's kind of some conflicting, or maybe they all need to come together arguments for how whales figure out where to go to find food.
Yeah. Speaking of where to find food, I talked about this with you earlier. You know how the last few years, especially for us who are whale watching naturalists full time, we always talk about shifts in migration time and stuff like that. Early arrival, late arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was finally a decent write up about the stock of humpbacks that are in Colombia and then feed in Antarctica, and it's talking about how they've noticed someone actually, put to work a paper that about that it possibly could be the lack of sea ice, lack of food, and they're just kind of sitting there going, "Okay, nothing to eat. Well, let's just go down to Colombia early." So,
They're early.
yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like the Pacific whales in the North Pacific have been late.
Yeah, so it could, that's why this is going to obviously be someone's work at, to figure out each population's, situation. But this is what they could refer to as the G stock of humpback whales that are tropical Eastern Pacific animals that end up in Colombia and usually feed off of the Antarctic Peninsula. So,
Hmm.
yeah. But it's like, yeah, if you got nothing to eat, you might as well go to warmer water early.
Yeah. Interesting. Did you guys watch The Whale Detective?
Some of
I
it.
I did. I'm in it for like a few seconds.
What?
Yeah.
Did you see me?
I should have been in it. I was there on that boat on Blue Ocean that day.
Yeah, you were next to me a few times, but I was in
The
it.
day that the whale breached, or the day they were filming?
No, we
The
weren't.
day
None
we're
of us were
filming.
here then.
There's me.
Wait, where is it? Where am
Oh
I?
yeah. Oh, you're in the photo on the board. Okay.
Yeah.
Marilia was in it. I saw
Oh
her for
my
a second.
gosh.
See
That's so funny.
That dot's me.
So you know the opening B-roll footage they have of the seawolf from that day? It's
Uh-huh.
me and the photographer standing on the top deck.
Oh,
I had
no
my
way.
back to the camera, but I was like, "That's me,"
I was
because I
not.
was out on
I
the
wasn't
ocean
here
that
yet,
day.
right?
No, not
It was
yet.
15, huh?
Yeah, early summer, 15. I was on the ocean that day. We were like over a mile away, but we saw it happen, and then we heard everyone on the radio be like, "The kayakers fell in the water." I was like, "Oh no." So
What'd you think about it? Yeah.
it was okay. My couple takeaways from it that I thought were interesting that I never really thought of, but definitely is true, is you can match whales based on their tubercle pattern. You can match their flukes, you can match their pec fins, you can match their tubercles. So they were trying to figure out who the prime suspect was, and all they really had was a good shot of the top of its head.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. And then I really liked the section where they interviewed Ari, because he was just like, "We know nothing about whales, but like we're trying to figure it out."
It's funny.
That's so funny
He's
because
just like very, huh?
it's funny because I was just thinking like during our the last topic that like I was like, there's gonna be never ending research on whales. So like if you if you want to just like research the rest of your life, choose whales.
The problem is finding money for it. But yeah, there's endless research questions about whales. But yeah, Ari's just kind of like, we don't know anything about them, but like we're trying, and we're trying to protect them because I think they're important. And I was like, that's pretty much cetacean science in a nutshell.
And my favorite part is always any documentary with Joy in it is where I learned the most. She's like the master of animal anatomy.
Yeah.
Who?
The Joy Reidenberg, the anatomist, she's really cool. She does a lot of large animal dissections, and like she's putting out some really cool anatomy work with whales, and especially she's lately been focusing on sound production, but yeah, she's cool, and she's a really good speaker. So like whenever she does discover something, she makes it really easy to understand.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I learned a lot from her, but I really like that Inside Giants series that with the sperm whale. Yeah, and then the few talks she's done for ACS and
Oh,
other
she's been
organizations.
here.
Been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She goes to Society for Marine Mammalogy conference every year, and then usually she makes it to ACS, especially if she's been asked to come as a speaker. So yeah, she's a really cool lady. But if you go to PBS's website, you can access all their shows. So that's how I was able to watch it here in Hawaii. So for any of our listeners, if you want to watch that, or I think Inside Giants is still available on their website too. You can just go to pbs.org.
Yeah, Inside Giants was on there, but I kept on getting an error message. But worst comes to worst, folks, YouTube.
That's true. It's also on YouTube.
Has it. Yeah, but yeah, Whale Detective has some pretty good information in it from certain people in there. Inside Giants is amazing. Kingdom of the Blue Whale, that's on Disney Plus. That's kind of cool. You can watch The Mandalorian and then learn about blue whales.
Eric loves his Mandalorian.
I've seen that movie so many times.
The Kingdom of the Blue Whale?
Yeah, I love it.
That is on one of your frequent flyer movie lists.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kingdom of the Blue Whale is good, and there's a few other whale documentaries floating around out there.
Bothers me a little.
What?
Because I just want to upgrade it.
Upgrade what? The Kingdom of the Blue Whale?
Yeah.
Isn't it? How old is it? It's like before drones, right?
Dude, yeah. Before, I don't know. Before I even
60
started
frames
looking
a
at
second
whales.
on a cell phone.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot. Like they could just upgrade all the shots of it, and they know a lot more now about them.
Yeah.
Didn't in that movie? Don't they try to tag like a pregnant female? or no? And then like the tag comes off or something, or they're trying to find a
she's like
mate.
almost. I think she's like almost to Costa Rica, and the tag came off or something.
But then they see the little blues with fetal folds down there.
Yeah.
Where do they
It's
go
been a
for the
while
blue
since I
whales
watched-
there?
What?
It's our stock, our California stock that.
I know. Where
ends
do
up-
they go? Like, where do they like actually go whale watching for blue whales there?
Yeah, that
There's
footage
whale
of the fetal
watching.
folds. Yeah, it's down there.
Yeah, there's whale watching in Costa Rica like almost year round because they also have humpbacks there from North and South Pacific all year.
Yeah, some lady messaged me that is like she has like tons on Happy Whale, and she said, "Are you coming down here?" And I was like, "I freaking wish," because I said I wanted to try to go. I think it was supposed to be this year, but I messaged it like a few years ago.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
I
definitely
think
want to
she runs
go.
a tour company.
Oh, that's cool.
She has this sighting for a humpback that is the furthest between sightings, and it's in Costa Rica and in Tonga. Wait,
Oh,
yeah. So it
that's
went
interesting.
down. It went down to Antarctica and then across
Up,
and then up.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, or the
up
opposite
the other
way. Yeah.
side. Yeah.
I've been getting a few like comments on my happy whale sightings too. There's a lot of people down south waiting for certain whales that I just saw very recently. They're like, "Tell them to get down here
Please,
already."
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Could you tell them to get down here?
Yeah.
There's food down there too, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not super dense like our cold water, but yeah, there's some.
Yeah, there's like this. Is it a seamount or something offshore the Costa Rica Dome? I don't
Mhm.
know what geologically structured it is,
Costa
but
Rican. No.
that's why they think the blue whales go there because they're too fat for months at a time. They have to be around food.
Yeah, blue whales are constantly eating. A lot of people think they don't eat when they're down there, but yeah, they are always finding something to munch on.
I need
So
some sunshine.
the other thing I wanted to share with you guys is from one of our listeners. So a couple episodes ago, we asked people to like share their impact that the podcast has had on them. And so Charlotte, I think her last name's Kirchner, sorry if I butchered it, messaged us and said, "Hey guys, about that influence you had on listeners and careers in marine mammal science. A year ago, I stepped out of academia and I never looked back. I started volunteering with the charity in the UK, Orca Web. They have this network of citizen scientists to help look for cetaceans according to their respective protocol and use data to highlight the threats to cetaceans in European waters. I think listening to your podcast reignited the spark for whales and dolphins, which have always been my passion. But being in landlocked Germany, it's always been unrealistic for anyone who wants to get a job in this direction. Anyway, I decided to proceed a 4-week placement on a passenger ferry with them as a wildlife guide and educator. They also took me on board to do a training to do something similar on board cruise ships that they're working with. By now, I'm back to the 100% whale nerd I used to be as a kid. In my free time, I now opt my ID skills, maybe practice my ID skills by identifying pictures of cetaceans on iNaturalist. In 2 weeks, Orca is sending me on a 33-day cruise to the Caribbean, where, as a wildlife officer, I will not only spread the word about whales, but I also be able to be directly around them. Thanks so much for playing a role in how my 2019 made my childhood dreams a reality. Hugs from Germany.
That's pretty awesome, dude. I
Yeah.
should listen to the Whale Nerds podcast.
Dude,
Get
I know. I want to
inspired.
go to. That's awesome. You know what's funny is like all the prints I sell and like calendars. They always are from Germany. I think there's some secret whale nerds in Germany.
Yeah.
There's some closeted cetacean lovers in Germany.
So we're big in Germany, just like David Hasselhoff. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I didn't mean like that, but I like honestly, I just sent out 2 to Germany just 2 days ago.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
And there's another person. Who was it? Is his name Rob that you guys were telling me?
Robbie.
Oh, Rob. Yeah. We need to check in with him because he did his internship and I want to hear how it went.
Yeah, he said he said he would be willing to come on the podcast, I think.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
we'll
pretty
have to
sure he
set
said that in the message.
Okay. We'll have to see how we work with our crazy schedules, but we'll make it work.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's cool. If anybody else has stories they want to share with us, like that always makes my day to hear that kind of stuff.
Hey, can we go back to negative again? I had one
Now
more paper.
what?
I had one more paper to bring up. Just me and my, because ever since I left Quebec, I'm like totally obsessed with beluga whales right now. So it's not just everyone's going crazy about our southern residents, but they're starting to get really concerned about the population of belugas over there in the Cook Inlet because it
Oh
turns
yeah,
out,
that's been
yeah,
an issue for a while.
yeah, their salmon issues are pretty significant too. So all that, just like most other of our favorite marine mammals out there, it's affecting birth rates and everything, and uh, and survivability. So we got to start paying attention to the salmon everywhere.
So is
Yeah,
that where the North Atlantic salmon comes from, or does it come from like off of shoot,
no,
East
Cook Inlet
Coast?
is the one of the Alaska populations.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
the
But
ones in where you went, I think, are they doing okay? Eric in Saint Gulf of St. Lawrence.
that population, it's literally a population that does not move. They stay in there in the St. Lawrence, but there's still some concern about them. For them, one thing is noise too.
Yeah,
That's why I had that 1,200 foot distance that they keep over there. But yeah, that's obviously a concern, and I think food everywhere is a concern for all
yeah.
belugas.
A couple years ago, they did some studies on the acoustic disturbance of even just like coastal traffic and construction for those Cook Inlet
Yeah.
belugas. And then they also have done some like biopsies to test their like pollutant load in their blubber layer, and they're pretty toxic animals, kind of like the southern residents are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So animals live sharing suburban space with humans, and then limited food resources. It makes for a tough situation, that's for sure.
Yeah, but with the winter slowness, that I've been able to try to catch more of the details of these papers. But yeah, that was one of the other ones that really kind of hit me. That salmon.
Hmm.
Telling you, I tell everybody, salmon's bad news.
Yeah. Anytime I see it here on the menu, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
It's everywhere. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. It's on
But
every
like,
menu.
we're in the most isolated island chain in the world, and they're sending farm salmon here. It's like, oh,
Oh
stop.
yeah.
Speaking of farm salmon, Slater, we already talked about artificial the other podcast, did we?
Yeah, we
What?
did.
We
I
did.
watched
Okay.
it. That
Think-
documentary is pretty good.
Yeah, it's some of the stuff that a lot of us fish people have known for quite a while, but I'm glad that they're making people aware.
Totally.
Yeah. I was
Okay,
I was
Eric.
trying to hit my
What
trash
was
can.
that? Eric
Eric just hucked a bottle behind him.
No, I could actually hit the trash can from here, but
But
I
you
missed.
didn't.
I was about a foot
What was
off.
that? Coconut water?
Coconut water, yeah. You see that dark spot right there? My trash can's right through that door, and I can actually hit it from here.
Yeah, you did
Whatever.
not make it, dude. I hit the ceiling.
I've hit the trash can of the Tabasco from the wharf.
Whatever.
You were
You guys-
there.
Easy when it's right underneath you and you just drop it.
No, it was in the back of the cabin. You know how the distance from there? Yeah.
The only other thing I have for the podcast is I saw one of the companies in Iceland post they're hiring naturalists. I think they only can accept European work visa people.
Ooh, what
But
company is it?
let me see if I can find it again. It's
Listeners
not.
in Germany, listen up.
Yeah, it's
Hi, Lacey.
Elding Whale Watch Reykjavik.
Oh, Elding, yeah.
I've
Yeah.
heard of that.
So they're hiring now, and I would assume that a lot of companies are actually hiring now for summer season. So if you are thinking of getting a summer job on a whale watch boat, get your resume and cover letter together and start sending it off, because companies now until like the end of February are starting to do interviews and stuff. So yeah, get ready if you're not ready already.
Do it.
Do it.
Tell us that you went there.
Do
and
it.
Share your experience with us.
Yeah,
Do it.
definitely.
I really wanted to move to Iceland for a while after I went that one time.
We still should go back.
Oh, I want to go back for sure. The only problem is that I have this. It's not a problem, but I have this beautiful dog that cannot go to Iceland. Well, she can't. It's just a big. It's like such a big deal to bring a dog to an island. You know, she
Yeah.
has to be on. They have to quarantine the dog on a tiny little island inside the fjord, and like you could actually take a ferry to her every day and
No,
see her.
Lacey. That'd be so sad.
Mhm.
She would be very sad.
Oh my gosh, she would go nuts. She would probably dig her way out and then like
Run
find
wild.
us. She would swim across and get on a humpback.
I didn't hear about Dog Island and
Yeah, it's called
Iceland.
shoot, not
Is it by
what is
Reykjavik or where is it?
no, it's by Haganes. It's Lacey off.
Lacey was
Um,
on Slater's lap while he's talking about this.
yeah, Hagen. Wait, how do you spell it? Yeah, anyways, it's in the north and it's a little tiny island inside the fjord. Did you go when you went while watching Iceland? Where'd you go again? And did you go to Akureyri? Eric?
I can't pronounce all the names of the places I went. All I know is I
Akureyri. I don't know how to say it either. I just make it up
got
as I
on the
go.
big old busting and under the fjord and took a left. That's what I remember.
I think that's all the whale news I have.
That's about it for me.
We covered a lot of fun topics.
Yeah,
Go whale watching, people.
do it.
I'm hoping more animals show up in Maui soon. Slater, I think we lost you. Are you muted?
I think he just broke his mic.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I yanked the cord out the back.
Whoopsies. All right. Well, thanks, friends. Share your stories with us. Get your resumes ready. Go whale watching.
Also, send us topics.
Yeah, that too. That'd be fun.
I was gonna say that Southern California, February is like my favorite time for gray whales down there.
This is true.
This is the
Yeah.
way.
I'd say Monterey because you see tons of whales here, but just the weather wise, like you can't beat Southern California's weather for gray whale season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go whale watching somewhere.
Yeah,
do
everyone,
it for
go
me.
whale watching.
All right.
All right. Thank you for listening. And if you don't follow us on Instagram, it's Whale Nerds.
And we've been posting some stuff on our Patreon too. So follow along on there if you want to. And thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.